Hello everyone, so in this video we will talk about the Walksnail Goggles X, and previously this has an overheating issue that has plagued most of the pilots that have this. What Walksnail did is they provide a free grade of heatsink, and I think they have two designs of that heatsink, and the current one I think is working for most of the pilots who had received this. What we will do today is we'll try to look at this and we will check the results of the temperature. In order to do so, you have to remove your foam. So there are two screw holes here, one and another one here. Just be very careful with the foam because it's very soft and you might damage your foam. So once you remove it, you get a plastic thing or sponger that you could use to pop open the front part, and you can remove now the cover. So we actually got the version 2 of the heatsink because the first version has a very long fins. I think the fins is up to here, if you can see it. The fins are up to this part of this board, and I think it is not a good design because the wire of the Wi-Fi is interfering with that. So this is the version 2 of the heatsink, very small, and it already wrecks the wind blown out by the fan that is placed here. So there's a hole here that actually moves through, the air moves from here, from that hole to this fins of this heatsink, and we'll try to let this sit for a couple of minutes and if there will be heating issue while doing so. And as you can see, even the cover has this plastic here that already wrecks the air. So if you put it here, this part is probably okay. So this place is blocked, so this hole is blocked, half of it is blocked. So the air coming from the hole is moving out from this part of the cover. So let's give this a couple of minutes to run and we'll try to see the temperature. So now just to show you, the temperature is 31.9, 46, 47. Okay, so we got our smoke. Okay, you'll be seeing this. See, smoke. Okay, so we're now trying to see. So I got the smoke here. Okay, if you can see the smoke. Okay, so we're trying to see how. Okay, so the intake is quite strong. You have to see it. See, the intake is quite strong, and if you want to see how the air is being blown, see that the air coming in through this vent is being blown out to this. Okay. So the smoke is actually coming to this part of the goggles. Okay, it's really being blown out. See, there's some smoke coming out here also. Weird. Okay. Yeah, it's quite strong, and hopefully I don't mess with the goggles. Air coming from here in this side, but it's not as strong as expected. I think we have to do something about this cover, because if we try to remove it again, while this is running, the air is actually strong. See how strong the air is. See? Alright, so one thing that we notice when we run the smoke test for the airflow in this goggles is that when we try to remove this, there's really a strong wind coming out of the side fan, and it's blowing a huge amount of air into this direction. But the problem is when we try to cover this up, somehow the air exhaust here is dramatically lowered, so it's not as strong when it doesn't have the cover. Okay, so this is made out of metal or aluminum. Okay, so if you want to look at it, this is actually the division of this is the exhaust part. This will be the intake. There's a divider here from the cover and the heatsink. Okay, so that the hot air will not mix with the intake of cold air. Okay, let's go. Let's try this test. Okay, so here we are again in the kitchen, and I did not remove the cover to cover the intake here, so that it's similar to your face, blocking those airways. So actually the goggles is smelling like smoke every time I'm using it because of all this test. Actually, this is, some people will say this is unnecessary, but we just want to understand how the airflow affects the temperature. See that there's actually air coming out this part of the goggle. See, very strong air now because we tried to remove the blockage. But you can see here, see that there's some air being blown in this direction. See, this is getting warm, but not as hot as it was before. I'm just trying to run this for a couple of minutes, then we will try to see the temperature with our thermometer. So here's the thermometer, 42. Let's look at the goggle feed so you can see. Temperature is 48.72. So far we have been running 10 minutes. Highest temperature we got. Let's see the goggle feed. I hope you could see it. I'll try to zoom it in so you could see firsthand. Temperature is 54. Okay, 54. This is pot still warm but not burning just like yesterday. Probably because this is made out of plastic. So hopefully Cadex probably could change this from using an aluminum, probably a plastic over here, and make the holes bigger so the air could really go out really easily. So trying for 15 minutes now. Okay, see, you could actually see it on this side. The intake is actually not as good. The top intake is not good. See? It's actually not helping. It's actually not helping. The air here is quite strong, but we do not know where the intake is really coming from. Even though we try to put it in this part of the goggle, see, this should be the intake, but the air is not being pulled in. Just to give you an idea how it looks like. This should be an intake, but as you can see here, it is being blown out. See? There's no intake. Yeah, the ambient temperature of the whole VRX here is 50, above 50. Okay, 0.3. Now the vent is 58. Okay, so really the problem here is actually it's not comfortable to press. When you put your hands here, it's really warm. You cannot put your arms here so for a very long period of time, so really the temperature is rising here. Although when you talk about working temperature, 58 is, or even 60 degrees is really normal for chipsets, because sometimes they go way beyond that, 80 degrees, 90 degrees, and as long as there is air being blown to the chipset, you don't have to worry. It's not comfortable to put your hands here, but does it mean it will not work? It will work. I think what Walksnail did really help to lower down the temperature of the chipset. But is it comfortable to use? No, it's not. It's really warm. I have been running this for almost 30 minutes now, and there is no issue with the goggle sex. Let's see. Still 51. So temperature wise, it's okay for it to run really well. Even on hot, it would go probably around 60 to 65 degrees. But is it comfortable to use? No, it's not. It's really warm. I cannot put my hands more for a minute here without burning. Feeling that very warm part. So I think Walksnail did a good job for the issue, but for comfortability, they could still do it way better. Okay, so we will end the video here.